Hi, my name is Alex. If you search online with the keyword air compressor car, you would find quite some ideas showcasing how people build an air compressor cart for two main purposes. That is, storing the air compressor and organizing the air hoses. Some design add extra features such as storage compartment and the wheels for mobility. I have taken the time to design my own air compressor tour car with all these functions, and I even enhanced them further. So this car focuses on four main features. First, hose organization. I built a handmade reel attached to the car that's for the easiest air hose accessibility. Second, maximum tool storage. I have two drawers that's on the car and also a couple of storage compartments at the back of the car for maximum tool storage. Third, mobility. In contrast to other cars where most of them have like caster wheels on the bottom, I have two large wheels on the back and a stopper in the front to handle different kinds of terrain conditions. Lastly, I have more tool storage, such as the nail gun holder and some miscellaneous tool holders on the side of the car. Please stay tuned till the end of this video, where I'll share more information about the plan of the design and the 3D CAD model. So let's get to it. Several years ago, I built this compressor tour car such that my compressor and air hoses wouldn't just like lie on the ground. It did a job. It was able to store the air compressor and the air hoses. However, it also comes with a few shortcomings. First, it's a very poor woodworking project. When I was building it, I was kind of in a hurry, so I simply put some scrap 2x4 lumber together, and honestly, there's no woodworking skill involved. You can see it is almost livable. Everything is pretty rough. Even though it comes with a drawer, the drawer was poorly made. It's pretty clunky. I think there's a lot of room for improvement here. Second, it is a non-ideal air hose storage. Like many of the compressor car on the internet, the air hose organizer was built as a simple handle. And when you are to store the air hoses, manually wrap hoses around this handle, which is okay, but it's not ideal. On the internet, how people resolve this issue is that they purchase off-the-shelf a reel system, for example, the one from Harbor Freight, and then mount it in the center of the cart. However, the issue is that it's taking a lot of spaces. So I improved on this and made a homemade reel system that's side-mounted on the cart, which saves some space in the center for extra drawers. The last issue is about the mobility. Even though I did install like 4 wheels at the bottom of this car, they are of like a caster wheels, which are meant for indoor and flat surfaces. So whenever I need to move the compressor to my backyard to build my shed or doing other stuff, it was very hard to move it on the grass. That's just the nature of the caster wheels. Or there are cases where I need to work at the driveway. These kind of caster wheel have a tendency to roll on the driveway, which is not ideal. Therefore, in this new design, I add 2 large wheels on the back of the cart and add a stopper in the front to handle different kind of terrain conditions. Below, I'll guide you through how I built this cart in detail. Let's get to it. The first step is to build the main body of this cart, which include 2 side panels, a bottom panel, top panel, the back, and several dividers for the drawers.
That cup of coffee where a story began. In every drop, I'm your biggest fan. With every brew, I feel you near. In that coffee's aroma, love is here. Coffee's aroma. Our love like coffee, strong and bold. In every cup, our stories told. In every cup, our stories told. To that cup.
The body is designed with a tapered shape. It's wider at the bottom and narrower at the top to enhance the stability and prevent tipping over while it is in motion. I used a 3/4 inch plywood for this project. After cutting the pieces to size, I joined them with wood glue and screws. There's one important tip. Install the drawer slides at this stage. It is much easier to do it now than later. The second step is to build the drawer. Each drawer is made up of two sides, a bottom, a back, and a front panel. Pay a close attention to the drawer width and height. I make them slightly smaller than the available space to account for the thickness of the drawer slide and any inaccuracy of my cut. The reel was the most challenging part of this build, for which I spent several iterations. I'll start by describing the reel's components and assembly, then I'll go over the difficulty I encountered and how I resolved them. So the reel consists of two discs, which are connected by 5 dowels, and there's also a crossbar and support to secure the reel to the cart. And there's the handle, which rotates with the reel. Finally, there's a hardware such as fitting and coupling, which connect the compressor to the air hose. I began by cutting the circular discs and preparing the dowel to connect them. I use a circle cutting jig for precise cuts. Check out the linked video on how I built it. Alternatively, you can use a jigsaw to complete this task. With the discs ready, I drilled 5 evenly spaced holes at 72 degrees intervals for the dowels. I then made my own dowels using a router and a rounding bit. Again, check out the linked videos on DIY dowel making. Alternatively, you can buy dowels at your local hardware store. Once the dowels were ready, I test fitted them by inserting them into the holes on both discs. Once I was sure they fit well, I then secured the dowels to the discs with glue and screws. If you purchase the dowel from the local hardware store, you shouldn't need to use a screw because they should fit very snugly. Doing woodworking outside in the rainy and the cold season was not easy. I have to wear enough clothes and a good pair of socks to keep my feet dry and comfortable. This is when I like to mention the sponsor of this video, Camel City Mill socks. They sent me a few pair of their socks. Let me try them on and share my thoughts. I've been wearing them for more than a couple months now, and I absolutely love them. They are very high quality socks, which are made specifically for people who are doing shop work, woodworking, construction work, or people in the trade in general. They are made out of merino wool with a special design of the so-called no sweat band that can help prevent sweaty feet and keep your feet dry and comfortable all day long. Their socks also feature a stronger proprietary iron side thread that with a single thread, it can lift up to 15 pounds of weight. That's why their socks are super durable and abrasion resistant. Moreover, they reinforce the socks by double plating the toe and heel area of the socks with nylon fortification, therefore making their socks even more resistant to wear and tear. And that's why they are so confident that they are offering a 10-year warranty that if your socks broke with a hole, then you can simply send them back and they'll send you a new pair of socks. Also, go to their website to check out hundreds of amazing positive reviews about their socks. Now you can get 10% discount with my referral coupon code DIY10 when you are checking out their socks on their website. I got a small percentage of commission in return to support this channel. There's no obligation, I'm simply sharing a good product that has been testified by myself. Okay, now let's get back to our project. The crossbar and the fixtures secure the reel to the side of the cart, effectively making them part of the cart's rigid structure. When the handle rotates the reel, only the reel and handle move. The crossbar and the fixtures remain stationary. The handle and the reel are connected by a rod, forming a rigid body so that when the reel rotates, the handle rotates along with it. See the video for a better visualization. This was probably the most challenging part, and I spent quite some time to get it right. Remember earlier I said one disc is connected to the handle by a dowel and supported by the crossbar. The other disc is supported by the connector that pass through both the side panel of the car and the disc. So let me spend some time to talk about the connector and the fitting which connect between the compressor and the air hoses, because this is one of the most crucial part of this whole build. So pretend this piece represents the side panel and this piece represents the disc, and our job is to figure out a way to connect between the compressor and the air hoses. The idea is that we'll have a shorter air hose to connect to this. These are like fittings, and then passing through the hole and then connect to the rest of the air hoses. So pretend this piece represents the side panel and this piece represents one of the disc. If you are to design it, how would you do it? The simplest way would be this end connect to one shorter hose and then connect to the compressor, and this end connect to a longer hoses, right? Since there are these two pieces in the middle, you have to figure out a way to extend the length of these two guys, right? So one way to do that is using these like connectors, right? And then there you have it. That way, this is one way, and the hardware in between kind of support the disc from falling, right? The issue with this configuration is that in this direction, the connector of the hose will then protrude in this way. Bear in mind, there's another disc here, get into the way of the air hose connector, right? So the way to mitigate that I can think of is to use these kind of 90-degree swivel. You then channel this output in this direction such that the air hose can connect this way. At first, I didn't realize that I was trying to increase the width of the reel or increase the length of the dowels, like these guys. I made it pretty wide, right? Because originally I imagined the air hose connector would be going that way. It is not until later I realized I can actually channel it out 90 degrees. So actually I can reduce the width further, and that way I can reduce the whole footprint of this car, make it even more compact, right? Similarly here, if you connect this way, then you have this guy protruded in that way, getting into the way of the compressor. So you basically channel it out 90 degrees without getting into the way of the compressor, which saves more space. It is easy to talk about it right now, the solution, but it took me quite a while to figure this out. Another important thing to notice is that in between each piece, I have washer to make it more secure. I have one washer there, another washer in between these two guys, kind of hard to see, and another washer over there. So this will make the whole thing even more secure, right? To put everything together, I first drill holes on the panel of one side of the main body. There are 3 holes to be drilled, 1 for passing through the air hose connectors and 2 for passing through the fixers for connecting the crossbar. I then install the central dowel on one disc and put on the crossbar, and then assembled the handle. Lastly, I then install the parts to the side panel with the fixers and air hose connector. Notice the order of assembly is important here, and you want to test fit before the final assembly. It worked. It would work, right? Alright. The 2 wheels and the axle shaft were purchased off the shelf from Amazon. To install the wheels on the car, I made shaft holder from scrap wood, and passed the shaft through the holes in these holders, attached the wheels, and mounted the holder to the back of the cart. I used an angle grinder to cut off the excess length of the shaft and added set screw shaft collar to keep the wheel secure in place. I added a couple of storage compartments on the back of the car, along with a tool holder on the side and a dedicated nail gun holder. The nail gun holder is especially worth mentioning. I traced the shape of the nail guns onto the plywood and cut it out. It turns out great, making the nail guns so much easier to access. If you stayed this far in this video, it means you must be very interested in this topic. If you'd like to follow along and build this project, please check out the woodworking plan on my website, makerdaddiy.net, along with other woodworking, DIY, and maker projects. If you'd like to become my patron, please check out the description in this video. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next one.